Awesome.
Great.
So,
Looks like we're live. Hello, everyone. This is Nikolai from Postgres AI, and this is another session, Postgres Hacking 101 with Andrei and Kirk. Hi, Andrei. Hi, Kirk.
Hi, everyone.
hello.
Thank you for joining. And we still think that psql is not good enough, right? It has a lot of capabilities, but we still want to slightly improve it. And Kirk has another idea, and today, as I understand, is going to do it himself, right? Right? With maybe some help from Andrei.
Exactly. So this is like pair programming. So Andre said, why don't you do it and I'll talk you through it. So this is how you learn.
Right.
And that's
So,
good.
Yeah.
So what are we going to do?
All right. So at a high level, I'm just going to do a quick overview with, GitLab to Gitpod to my session, and just enough so people can get the gist of how that flow goes, and how we got it started, because that was the hardest thing for me. It took me all day yesterday to figure it out. But I'm comfortable now. So this is good. Anyway, so once we do that, then we're gonna walk through how you make the changes and then test them, okay, just in this environment. And this is a relatively small change. It's literally 4 lines of code. I can't believe there's a few people against it going into, or not against it, but not warm to it going in. It's a small change, and it's likely to never change once we implement it. So, and what are we implementing? We're adding a %t option to the prompt variables so that it displays the time. No formatting, right? Just hour 24, right? 24-hour time in hours, minutes, seconds. And the value of this prompt for me is I use this on almost all of my prompts. So if I lose track of when I did something, I can look back and go, oh, or if I started something and it finished at 4 p.m. and I go, oh, crap, I started my benchmarking at 3:30. It's not accurate benchmarking anymore because I forgot this thing was still running in the background. I thought it had finished. And then you don't know when it finished. Even if you had timing, /timing, a great command. If you have that turned on, it tells you how long it took. But if you don't know when it started, you don't know what time it finished. And so now when you look back, you can look and say, wow, the other thing I use it for, sometimes I look back and, wow, I've been working on this problem, looking back at my prompts. I've been working on this problem for 6 hours.
Right.
Right, as I scroll back.
For any automation, I usually have or we create with other, like my teammates, I usually use TS and T-A to have prefix with timestamps. If everything is automated, it's like a very good thing to have always. But for interactive mode, definitely we also need to have something similar. So I think it's a great idea. And I saw you already started a thread in Hackers yesterday, and there was a comment from Tom that a prompt is not for everything, right? So, but I think it depends on on the screen size, right? And today sometimes we have very large screens, so we can afford small fonts and so on. And I see many people work with quite significant, substantial prompts, prefixes, and so on. So I think it's a good idea. Andrei,
well,
do you? Oh, okay, sorry.
So let me add. The other comment that Tom made was, hey, we only have so much namespace for these prompt variables. And quite frankly, it's in the post. We have upper and lowercase 1 character. That's 52 potential letters we can use. And we are using 7 so far. So in 20 years of Postgres, psql has consumed 7 prompt variable names.
You're talking about defaults, right? Because sometimes we can configure and see the database name, and database name can be.
That's R and U. Yeah, I'm not worried about that size, the size of the prompt. He was saying namespace, meaning we can only name so many variables. We've only named 7 out of 52. And when we name this one, it'll be 8. So that will leave us 44. I'll be dead before we get to the half-life of these, okay? Trust me. So the argument is it's easy. and it's functional, and it's not going to inhibit changes in the future, which is kind of what that argument said. Go ahead.
I have a question, but I'm not sure. This namespace of argument names, is it shared with something else? Maybe pgbench or other tools are using the same prompt? pgbench have no prompt.
Yeah, not that I know of. This is in prompt.h, right? And even if it was in pgbench, a %t prompt would be great. But
definitely,
but it would have to come out of this. And this is not in shared code. This is in psql. So if it's being shared, it's being shared wrong, and it's giving the wrong intention. But that's a good question, Andre. My truthful answer is I don't know, right?
Maybe we just do not understand what Tom is trying to save.
Okay.
But I think the practice will show what's going on.
And we all agree that default behavior should not be changed, right? So it's like
and it should. Well, if you don't use %t in your prompt, it won't show up. So, and the only other argument is people will want different formats. And my argument is Oracle's had this feature for 20 years and has never given anyone the option to change formats. So I don't know. I'm thinking we're pretty safe. Plus, how many different formats a time? That needs to be, and it should be military time, hour 24. Once it's that, there's no argument. There's no AM, no PM. There's nothing to worry about. Yes.
Talking about Oracle, maybe they have a patent for this.
They have
because
what?
if they have, we cannot. If the Oracle have patent for this, we cannot implement this.
They have a command called set time on the prompt or whatever. They have a command for it. I doubt putting time on the prompt is something patentable, since every Linux makes it available as an option, right, on their command prompt. So
there is a prior art anyway, so we can say that even it's patented, that patent is not valid.
Okay. Right. So, and now the next thing is Tom's other point was there's no need to do this because you can use the back quote and shell out a new session every time you get a prompt and get the date from that, and then do that and put that in there, and it's even more flexible. My problem is I think a back quote shelling out to a new session that gets created, destroyed, is incredibly wasteful for showing a prompt, but it is powerful. Okay. Not only that, it doesn't work the same in Windows as it does in Unix. So the problem is I try to share my psql RC file between both of my systems. This is what created the need for this. It doesn't work. Okay. So, and there are, in the Windows side, I had to change my overall system settings to stop seeing the command prompt show some messages that my default one shows before it showed the prompt, because it was capturing the date. So it's obnoxious, and it's easy to fix. This is what open source is about to me. So with that said, I'd like to start sharing my screen.
Right. I was going to propose, let's switch to code. Only one comment from chat.
Can I do a one? Okay, it's from chat.
Comment from chat.
Yeah.
It's good that we are implementing. In my words, it's good that we're implementing your ideas, Kirk, and especially good that you have this background. So people noted that background is.
Oh yeah, that Captain Kirk. Thank you.
Right.
That's my nickname. Yes, Andre.
One thing that I wanted to tell is when I was on-call engineer, it was like in the night, you get an automated call and the database is broken, please fix it. And you wake up and use psql to restore database, fix something or kill some queries or something like that. And we used to have in prompt sign if it is primary or if it is replica, if it's standby. And also information about client ID and some other technical information. And then when you're on call, you fix the stuff, shut down your laptop and go to sleep back. And then when you wake up, you have to fill the incident report. And then you look to the
Right.
things that were happening at time, adjusting it with a chat, with emails, and trying to remember when did I like killed replication slots, when did I killed hanging query, what was the time, and then there is another on call who was running something else, and we need to match our chats, merge events, and if we had this time, it would be much easier to fill in incident reports. That's what I wanted to tell. Let's go to
That's a great use case. Okay, so hopefully my screen is not too big.
Fine.
And so we're looking at the GitLab, and this is my PostgreSQL, okay, that I cloned out or I actually forked. So how you do this, people, in your GitLab, if you find the project like the real PostgreSQL, like I did, this is inherited from one of my own. But if you grab that, just fork it and put it in your main. Once you do, this is a piece of magic. Choose the Git pod as the launcher, okay? And then if you just click this button, it will open the Git pod for you. And that will ultimately run and do one of these, okay? That said, this is all ready. So this one ran, this is open. I want to explain one piece outside of that. Workspaces. I was panicked about deleting these, okay? I had, no idea how to put this in context. A workspace is a hibernated virtual machine. So whatever changes you had in that machine are kind of kept, and it sits here. So they build the base machine off of your initial, and then they add whatever changes were made when this thing was actually turned off. And so this is basically a hibernated machine. And I can actually restart it where I left off by opening it, okay? I don't need this one. I'm just gonna delete it. Why? I'm not losing anything that I care about. I know the change was just a change to a log file, okay? So this makes it real easy. So now, again, so this is your workspace, and you just create a new workspace here. Come in here, choose the PostgreSQL my, okay? And then you choose new workspace. Now that's gonna take a while to start up because we have a startup script, and the startup script is here, Git pod YAML. And this is all thanks to Nikolai. So first off, everyone listening to this, none of this is me. None of this is me showing off. I am standing on the shoulders of giants. I didn't write Postgres, Linux, any of these tools, right? And Andre had to spend too much time with me, and so did Nikolai to explain to me how to get this set up. But this file is so important. And we're gonna make this file better. So over time, this file is going to actually become probably an init curl command and the single command to execute the shell that it downloaded. And part of that reason is this command turns out with this exclamation point says, hey, this is a multi-line command. It does not guarantee which order these are going to run in. And that can cause make problems, okay? That's a pain. Now, if this was a shell script, they'd run in order. We will fix that. No time today, but this is the file. You can make changes in here. Okay, so for example, I took the ideas that were from Nikolai and I added a prompt. Why? Because you see my prompt down here, it has a timestamp. Why? Because I like timestamps on my prompt. Right. But this is the wrong prompt. I want one. When I go into psql, I don't have that. It's not an option. Now I lose my timestamp, okay? So I wanna fix this. And now that's where we're gonna start with this. So from here, this is probably the most—
just wanted to comment, like you explained so many things I considered like straightforward and skipped, like, thank you.
Yeah, that's all I'm—
Yeah. You just—
I was a professor for 1 year.
Right,
So,
I need to learn how to explain things better, definitely. So thank you.
No, like I said, I couldn't do any of this if it weren't for you guys getting me started. I would have never figured out any of this, but I can fix it once it's there. All right, so that's there. Over here, we have two things you'll pay attention to. These are your changed files. These are your list of files. I open up the list of files. I'm in Postgres, okay? I'm gonna go to my source code. I know to look in bin. This is where all the binaries are. Now that seems weird. My bin folder has my source code in it, but there's a reason. These are all the binaries they end up producing. So all of the thing, PG control, all of these things, PG dump. If you want to see how anything is done, this is where you go look. So we're talking about what? We're talking about psql. So we open up psql, and now we want to look through which files are available. We know what we want to do. We want to change the prompt to actually add something. I'm not 100% sure where it is, okay? And that's a little bit of a lie because I've done this before, but I'm going to walk you through it. So I'm looking at these command. Well, that's reasonable. A command place may have prompt. Click on the code. You can scroll through it, see if it's finding. Really, we know, okay, thanks to a previous session with Andre, that there is a main loop, okay, right here. And main loop clearly has to have call the prompt. Right? It includes prompt.h. You know what? If there's a prompt.h file, what does that tell me here? psql example, let's come down. Where is it? Prompt.h. Good. And there's a prompt.c. Look at this. Returns an allocated prompt by interpolating certain characters. Nice. Okay. So what are we going to do? We're going to look at what they have. Always read the comments, get a little familiar. I mean, Andre doesn't have to. He's just so good. He jumps straight into the code. But these are, if you look, all of the characters they use. So there's R. They didn't put them in alphabetical order, which, bothers me at some level, but I'm going to put my
fix
OCD.
that, actually. Don't you mind, do you mind if to make font slightly bigger, pressing Command
Yeah. Let me
plus?
do that. I hope I can. How do you increase the font size, guys?
Either Command plus or Control plus.
Oh, Control plus.
Control plus, right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Is that good? And I can close this window now. Let me close that window. Perfect. %T, okay. The time in hour 24, okay, minute, second format. Okay. Perfect. So now that's that. So now we're gonna read the code, get prompt, okay? And this is something else you should pay attention to. The coding standards are ritualistically followed in Postgres, and I love that, okay? My OCD loves that, but here's some things you can do. When you search for get prompt through multiple files, if you use a regex and you use the caret, you can say starts at the beginning of the line. So you don't get all the invocations, you get the definitions. That's powerful. So anyways, moving on. So this has a status check. It looks like it allocates, I'm sorry, I scrolled that a little fast. Looks like it allocates a prompt and a max buffer size and a destination, right?
Kurt, may I add some notes that you
Please.
about that religion of formatting? This religion is called PG indent.
Okay.
And it's executed automatically. And yes, it is doing definitions split it into two lines. First the return and then the actual part of prototype without return. And the good thing, previously we had to install BSD indent and then run BSD indent with our script, which is called PG indent. But recently, PG indent was introduced as a binary of Postgres into our repo, and now it's easier. Sorry for interrupting. Let's proceed with.
No, that's good, and that's good history. This is what's great when people work together, and the voyeurs out there watching are learning from us. Anyways, so we have this. It looks like we have a giant switch. Okay, I'm just reading through the code. Oh, look, this is where we loop over the prompt. And we're breaking it down character by character. This is why there's a limit of a 1 character, case sensitive value to put in for it. So I'm going to go through. I put my comment under the thing, under the R or something like that. I'm looking at these implementations though. This is what you do. You scan this. Here you go. Look at, I love this one. Okay. There's a string copy, okay, of some value into buff, and that's literally all it does. If the database is set, then copy buff into, that's great. Some form of string copy into buff is all we need. So that means it'd be one line of code roughly to do nothing, but to put something in there. So this is R. So again, it initialized that. So right here is a good piece or a good spot to place our code. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring some of this in, but I'm going to do it line by line. And I'm just doing this so I don't make mistakes typing, which I tend to. Based on the previous comments that I saw go through here, the comment, okay, there were comments after some of these is before the actual item when they felt like commenting. So yeah, DB server name, boom. So I'm creating a comment like that first, just to tell everybody what I'm doing. I know I'm after the R, good. All right, and now, okay, we need the code. And the code is really, this is where Andre would just do this, you know, and just clack this in because he's a C guru, right? I haven't done C since my college days almost. So, and that was in the 90s, just to date myself. All right, at the end of the day, what is this prompt piece gonna do? Okay, first, we're gonna get the time, right? We get the current time, okay? Then we create a structure, right? And we allocate it. Well, we don't allocate it. We actually assign it the local time of the current time into this buffer. So this is a statically allocated, okay, part. If it had brackets around it and it was, I'd be nervous about overflows, but this is very standard. There's no overflow risk. I am declaring variables inside this, which I'm going to fall back to Andre and make sure that he's good with that. Some coding standards say all variables have to be declared at the tippy top and then used where they're used. So
if you need to declare something closer to usage, you can just open these curly brackets and that's fine by standard.
Okay. Good. Yeah, so that's what I want to avoid. Also, something else Andre taught me is you never use single line comments, okay? They're forbidden. You use multi-line comments. So the /* comments. Anyway, so we grab the current time, we shove it in. We now have the ability to access the hour, the minute, and the seconds, and we just simply sprint them. Now, I used to say sprintf them.
Kirk, I'm slightly worried that we can have a buffer overflow.
Okay, now, yeah, we could, but we can't. And because I already checked that, that was my fear too. So the issue is if the pointer of buff has been advanced forward past the 250 mark or so, then when we write our 6 characters in plus a null, so 7, we could buffer overflow. And that would be a valid fear, except at the top of the code. That's a great question. So this is something I stopped and looked at. So you reminded me. So there are 2 things. There's destination and buffer, okay? And they both have max prompt size +1 for their size. So the buffer for each snippet of the prompt that you're parsing goes in its own buffer. Then it's merged into the destination as long as it fits.
So okay, 7 is surely shorter than
256. Yeah, and it's defined right here as 256. Right? So okay, it's defined as, so it's defined right there as 256. So now we have it. So this is, and now I got to get back down to where I was. I think I might have passed it up. There it is. Oh, I have a change indicator, right? Yeah, perfect. Good. I forgot the change indicator. In case you guys didn't see that, was right here in the scroll bar. These are the 2 areas I made the change. So I could have quickly clicked there and clicked back instead of all that stupid scrolling. You guys are learning with me. Awesome. So this just generates it. It prints the time in there and it's done. That's it. That's all we have to do. So
no. Where is the case?
Where is the case?
Case T. Yes.
Oh, you're right. You know what I forgot to do? I forgot to create. That's the one piece of code I didn't copy. There you go. All right.
And then now, comment is not in your case now.
Yeah.
Are other comments the same way?
Yeah, I think they are. So let me scroll down and look here. Yeah, this one, execute command. It's lined with the break. Okay. So that was good thing to double check, but thank you for that. And it's not going to be X. We made it a capital T. Again, we know it's case sensitive, and that should be it. Good catch. See, that's pair programming. I love it. So now, what's the command? And this is where I got to go out to Nikolai. How do I stop my Postgres? It's got to be like pctl or something, pgctl.
pgctl D, you need to point the data directory.
Yeah,
I will just copy paste from config, from gitpod config.
Home gitpod data.
Oh,
data.
it's this one. It's this one, right?
Yeah, and
then stop.
And stop, yes, or restart. But you don't have to restart it.
Because I got to compile, right? So I need to stop it first so I can compile because I'm going to put the binaries in the same place, right?
Andrei loves to run kill
recompile.
minus 9, right? Andrei just does kill minus 9. And
yeah, I was pointed out that killing Postgres with 9 is a bad habit, and I agree.
But not if you're a hacker.
No, I'm going to still say it's a bad habit. As somebody who manages large databases, if you're being lazy and you corrupt my database, you might have a date with the bottom of an ocean. So, all right. Yeah. So I get to do make, okay, minus, and it's J8. And that gives me like 8 processors. That didn't do much. You know, I'm going to do a make clean and remake it just to be, well, you know what I can do? I can start it and then see if it's there, because that's an easy test, right? What do you guys want me to do? Start Oracle? Start Postgres? Go ahead.
Start Postgres and connect to it and see if the feature works already.
CTL. There we go. All right. And I can do that one. Server started. Good. And then psql Postgres. And, oh, my prompt, is it there? /set. Nope, I don't have it set. So I can do /set prompt 1 equal, oh, no equals. I make that mistake enough times. And let me take my current prompt and add the %t at the front, %t space. This is how I like my prompt. It's not working. So we need to rebuild. So that's what it does. By the way, if it doesn't recognize, it just outputs the option.
I think you made like make, but you need to do a make install.
You know what? There you go. Thank you.
Compilation and linking, but not copying binaries to output directory.
Yep. Okay. So I'm just going to use the up arrow. Stop. We're going to stop it again. We're going to do make install now.
Yeah, and make install is also slightly faster. It's if you do it in multi-processor, in multi-jobs.
Oh. Okay.
But it's okay. It didn't took too much time anyway.
Okay, so not stop, but I want the start command. Where did well, I can just put start here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, boom. All right, now psql Postgres. Boom. Okay. Now I should have my prompt.
Yeah. Seems to work. Congratulations. It almost worked, but we need.
And the time changed too. So we do select now or select now and PG sleep of 3. Let it sleep. And then I'm going to go ahead and repeat that command. And there you go. Okay. So now it's not designed to be a timing. If you want timing, again, everyone turn on timing, because now when you do this, it'll time that exact statement down to the freaking microseconds. Okay. So it's a much better way to do the time.
It's milliseconds, not micros.
Or milliseconds.
You're right. Microseconds too. We have dot.
Microseconds are there. I see.
Yeah.
135 microseconds.
Right. There you go. Yeah. So that was milliseconds. So micro is with a U. So yeah. So that is milliseconds with microsecond accuracy. 3001, which is the 3-second sleep. Okay. So that is the essence of this change. And now, like we all said, if I look back through my log of my terminal, I can now see my session. I can see the timestamp on everything I did. And if I'm switching between two things and I reset something or I change something that affects my own session, and I have to think, do I have to reconnect to the database now because of that change? Oh no, this prompt is after I made that change. I'm good. So that's anyhow, that's it. That's the change. So technically now where we should go, if we're going to be good at this, is we should actually go into the documentation. That's the part I didn't script. I got too busy making all of this work.
And tests.
We should go in there. Oh, and run tests too. Don't we have to create a test for this, right?
Right.
I'm not sure. Do we have a test for other prompts in psql?
I don't know. How do you find out?
Yes, in Explorer, you can see there is a little bit upper. There is a T folder. T folder is a
testing.
tab tests. We can search through every file if there is a prompt.
Okay, now the tab completion I know is only for tab completion because I played with that. So let's look at cancel. And
it's only about cancel.
Yeah, that's going to only be about cancel. And the basic is little things like is no standard error, and then is matches. So let me
just press Control F and search for prompt. I think. No, you are
in the other screen. Yeah, in the code. Yes. Okay, nope. There is no prompt.
So there are no tests for prompt, I think.
Yeah, and I thought it pretty standard that they forced in general, they like forced the prompt to be like small, like this guy or something. So, anyways, I don't. So, but anyhow, yeah, there is no existing. And quite frankly, I mean, from a testing standpoint, the only thing I could test is sleep for a little bit and make sure the prompt is different. I certainly wouldn't want to try to recreate the time that it generated that because it's going to include some of its own time. It could spin past the current second, whatever. So, okay. So this is code complete from our end. And I think if you looked at the code, I don't think I violated any coding standards in doing it. Right. So
maybe I would like break to put after the curly bracket.
After the curly. Okay, good.
And also I would remove one tab on line 227. 227. Yeah.
Oh, even though everyone else is indented there. Let me see.
Okay.
I want to see. I didn't see any other. Hold on. Yeah, that's the case. So those are all case that you see all the other ones.
If the indentation is the same, that's fine.
Yep, current database. Okay. And again, I'm going to use that little cheat. Put me back here. Okay. So that is, and then because we did that, we got a checkpoint. That's all. I'm like, what's going on? So we got a checkpoint. All right. So I'm going to exit out of this. I'm going to, I need to stop this. I can actually just do a make install as one, and it'll compile just my changes.
Yes.
Yes, it will recompile everything.
I wonder if someone could like to have whole timestamp, including date, and also time zone. And
this was the argument. No, this was the argument Tom Kite was making for not wanting to allow the code in.
Because Tom Kite or Tom Lane?
Oh, not Tom Kite. Tom Lane. They're both in similar situations, right? Insofar as educating me on how things work. Good catch. This is, and I agree with his assessment. Once you open this to date, and quite frankly, date would have to be a separate variable, okay? Or we would have to start having multi-parameters under this. And once you get into there, now I'm going to push back on the change because now you're getting crazy. So
Okay.
if you're willing to do all that, and one of my other reasons for doing this is I'm bringing a team over who has great database experience, no Linux experience, and it's much easier to tell them put %t in your prompt than it is to tell them how to construct the back quote command and do all of that to get the timestamp. So
Right.
okay.
Makes sense. Yes. Mhm.
All right. So do we want to even look at the documentation at this point?
Yes,
For this submit?
let's try to do that. Let's try to search for prompt to search for something.
Actually,
like
the easiest way for me sometimes is if we look in where it's at in what is it? Yeah, on the website. Sometimes it'll give me an idea of where it's at. But we can actually look. This should be under psql. Yeah, there should be a psql piece. HIJK.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can just press Ctrl T, and version you can search with Ctrl T.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So that's all right. So we're looking for this is PG SQL. Where is PG SQL?
No, it's not psql.
It's not.
It's, I think. I think it must be upper. Like S is before L. Yeah, I don't see it.
I also cannot find it, actually. Interesting.
Let me go. I'm going to open up a different screen here. All right. Forgive me. And I have a tool that will help me find. I have the documentation on my machine.
It's in a ref folder. In SGML, you have a ref folder, and there is a psql ref.
Okay. Good. Thank you. PG.
PSQL ref, slightly lower.
Got
Because
it.
it's a reference type of documentation, right?
I have no idea.
Should be so. Reference.
Okay, title, description, the terminal is the front end, product name. So what I would normally do is go to the website and verify that I'm actually doing this. But we're going to go ahead and from here, we can search for prompt. Okay, and let's keep going. All right. All right. So literal. Okay, changes. All right. Well, hold on. Prompt, meta command prompt.
Maybe search for something like % something. Because
yeah, like %u, or what's the thing for like the database name and stuff? It might be hiding it.
1% is right. It's HTML entity or something.
Yeah, that's exactly. Let me do user. There you go. Running single user. Boom, boom. U. Here you go. Minus U. Oh, that's your startup parameters. Okay. How far are we? We're not far enough through this help. All right. This is the tough part when you don't know it. Okay, command line. I wonder, did they put prompt in uppercase?
there is a section, it's called prompting.
Oh, prompting. Prompting. Yes. There you go. Specify what the prompts okay should look like. Perfect.
So, no.
One more time.
One more, maybe
here.
Maybe more than, yeah.
Yeah. Prompt 1, good. So this explains the 3 prompts. Not going to get into it. And these are the variables. Okay, good. Yes. So these are exactly this whole. So these are var list entries. So we're going to grab a small one like this. Okay. And then L, M, N. So this looks more alphabetical to me. Okay.
Yeah. Because this is real documentation, not a code.
QR.
Goes between R and X.
Yep.
R and X.
Perfect. So between R and X, we're going to put a blank line here. And they're sticklers about that. By the way, they don't like the extra spaces, I believe. They will call you out on anything, and that's good. All right, so T. Okay, so
we need to change identifier too.
Identifier.
In 4578, we reused identifier, and they need to be unique.
Oh, good, good. So that's fine. So this is M-LC. Oh, so this needs to be T-UC, more than likely, right?
What is UC? I have
uppercase.
No idea.
I'm assuming that M lowercase and T uppercase.
I see.
Right?
Okay.
Okay.
Sense.
So this is current time on the client in HH24 MI second format. And then this is literal local dot local if the connection is on the, okay, so we don't care about that. Okay. And def for anyone asking for formats per Tom Lane. Good. All right. We want to make sure we get that in there because otherwise someone might ask. Okay. No, just kidding. All right. Perfect. So now we have this change made. Okay. Now here's the question. Have you ever compiled the help? Have you ever done the make on the help section?
I did.
The tools may not be installed.
You can try with tab completion, and maybe it will help. Like
with what?
Type make doc and press tab.
Okay, let's try. Make doc.
And tab.
Oh, I'm in the wrong folder for that though, right?
I see. You are in the right.
In the root.
In the root of source, it should work.
We can check my file to see how it works.
Okay, I'm not in the source directory, so yeah, I should be in the root of doc. So I should be able to say, oh, so you're saying, so when I said make doc, oh, make doc slash and then tab?
No, doc and press tab. It will try to complete.
I'm pressing tab. It's not doing anything.
It's not working.
Or hold on, or it's so busy that it's not moving. No, it's just not doing anything. Yeah, it's not doing anything. So let's CD to doc. I think in the docs, there's a separate make. Okay, so see how there's a make file here in the docs? So do you think we can just do a make here?
Right.
And this is where the problems come. I remember this was a pain in the butt. You have to install XML lint and SGML to whatever and all of
we
this.
Can skip it.
I think we can skip it because quite frankly, this patch is so small, like it shouldn't be. And then I'll look at the patch before we finally submit it. I'll test it on my machine. And because I can compile it on my copy. So, okay. All right. So we changed the code. To be clear, we've changed the code. We've also changed the documentation. So now this is where I need my mentor. Okay, Andre, put your mentor hat on. So now we have to look at our changes here. How do we do this so that we get the proper diff? Do I just commit these and remember a good name and then get the diff from that name? And it'll give me the 2 patch files that I want to send to the group? Or do I kind of do that here? That's the easy way? Okay, good.
Yeah, just commit it from a command line and we need a good commit message.
Oh, yeah, well, I'm doing, okay, so this is so here's, in the GUI, I can apply the commit message here. I'm better at that than at the command line when it comes to get,
but
okay.
You here have a one line, and typically in commit message, you want multi-line because first line is a headline and then you have explanation.
Yeah, good. It'll prompt me for that, but I'm going to show something else to everybody. Before I commit, that little plus sign says to stage my commit. So now it knows I have something to commit. And this does prevent you from accidentally committing the changes to the PG log. So just for the people paying attention out there. So now if I hit commit here, it's going to prompt me here, right? So now how do I fill this in? Do I start with a comment? with a pound sign?
No. You just write headline, then
Okay.
blank line, and then description.
Okay, so time, okay, time %T.
No. It's not necessary in a headline. Headline must be short. It's
Okay,
one
good.
line.
Okay, time option added to, okay, psql prompt.
Yeah, good.
Okay, now
And then
go ahead.
skip one line and add blank line, and on next line description why you think it's important and what is going on.
Okay, oh, good. All right, so,
Do
they wrap it?
Do next line here because he sees it. Yeah.
Yep. Good, thank you.
When you are writing commit message, try to do shorter sentences because you have a complex short. Like on add a dot after prompt. This sets the user full-time option to prompt dot. That doesn't require like break in a short.
Okay, help me out. Say it again. What did you like for wording?
Return. It was fine. Just it was. Well, can you return back?
Sure.
Yeah. On the first line on after prompt, just add a dot.
Okay,
dot,
perfect.
Dot and big T on in Z.
Oh, okay. How about I do prompt colon %T? Okay, right.
And dot just end this just end the sentence. Yes, and
Perfect.
start a new one. Why did you do it? It was fine.
That extra text was okay.
Yes,
okay.
Yes, it's
okay.
And
I got the wrong word. It's which is not required.
We could leave it on a previous line.
Oh, okay, good, perfect. I get what you're saying now. Which was not, and then I'll get it inside that just to be safe, right? Require a wasteful back-quoted shell command, which is also not compatible between operating systems.
Okay,
perfect.
And finally, let's
system
sentence
twice.
about a format.
Yeah.
And then something about what?
Something about format.
Yeah. Okay.
So which we used.
Did I? Oh, thank you, Nikolai. I didn't quite hear what you're saying. Good. Okay. The format is simply HH24 MI second. Okay. No other options. No other options available by design. Exclamation point. Okay, good. Now what?
Okay, and skip one line and one more line. Author. 2 dots.
What's it? Author. Oh, okay. Author.
Starting from a capital letter.
Okay, good. Author. Yeah.
And just one double dot. I didn't.
Oh, just one colon. Oh, when you meant 2 dots, you meant colon. Got it.
Yes.
Okay.
Your name.
Oh, wow. I get to put my name in. My real name. Wow. Okay.
And
who else?
No, we are just sitting and looking at it. And less your email. Yes, your email.
Okay. Got it.
And add a space after your surname before less.
Got it?
Next line, reviewed by
Like that?
Андрей Бородин, запятая, Николай Самохвалов.
Okay. You're going to have to spell your name.
B-O-R-O-D-I-N, yes.
Good. Less than. And then your email?
A-M-B-O-R, yes, O-D-I-N at acm.org.
Nice.
And if you want, if
Do
you
I
want
do a
my
comma?
name,
Yes. We need to.
just take it from Zoom chat.
Yeah, thank you. You know, there's things I really do
Because
like
we will
about
need another half an hour for it, right?
I'm sure I could get the letters correct, just not in the right order. Okay, does this go on its second line, or because that's going to do this? Like,
and finally, thread.
It looks good.
does it go on its own line, or like that? It's allowed to go to the right.
Yeah, it's better review it by, and next review it by again.
Okay. Thank you. If your email was any longer, Nikolai, you wouldn't be able to be on here. You'd break the coding standard.
Yeah.
And what else?
And what else? Thread reference.
Thread. Thread.
I can give you a link.
Oh, please. I got it now. I know what you're talking about. So for those listening who are ignorant like me, the thread reference comes off of the list of conversations maintained by the Postgres.org on the mailing list. And so this becomes a link back to the conversation so that people can get back up to speed and not everything has to be stated here. It helps the committers and other people involved in, knowing if that's the one they're talking about and pushing it forward.
Right.
So,
it's all because everything is in email. So it's like kind of patch protocol Andrei shows right now. So right, patch protocol. So by the way, I just commented there because it looks like they tried to compare what we just done here with Heikki's idea. And this is a link in Zoom chat. With Heikki's idea to be able to learn the duration of last query, which is also interesting idea, but it's a different goal.
But that's built in, right? I already showed that with the /timing.
Backslash timing it's for future queries, but
there is the link that Nick posted, and I will give you a shorter version of the same link.
Okay.
Thank you.
There is a shortener.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Just a second, I will check that it works. There is like that. Estonian shortener.
Spanish domain name.
It's Spanish. It's not Estonia.
.es.
Well, here's my recommendation. Can you copy that and give it to Nikolai so that he can put it in the notes? Because I'll want that link in the future, right?
Yeah.
So if it goes in the show notes, then everyone gets it.
Sure.
Yeah. Before committing, please copy what you have in editor, because sometimes committing fails. And actually,
now do I get rid
part.
Do I get rid of the comments, or I leave these comments in?
Leave them. They do not affect result.
So the scary part is you can lose your edits here, and because of that, I'm popping to another screen. Forgive me, and I'm actually
also
saving them.
There is a extraneous comma after my email.
Yes, thank you. And there's an extraneous space there. Perfect.
Okay, now looks perfect. Let's commit it.
Okay, so now I'm gonna again. This is the post anyway. So we click on this, accept commit message. Good. So I didn't get an error message. So now we say sync changes, and this will actually push it. I'm crossing my fingers. That is the first time I've ever had that interface work that cleanly. Usually I type in a short comment and go. Nice. Thank you. Wow.
So now we have this patch, and you can send it to hackers and
And
See
should
what
I
will
should
be.
actually find my old email and reply to that and do it as a
Yeah,
reply to
reply
and attach.
to the last email in the thread.
Right.
And
So
do
go ahead.
you know? So we committed it to GitLab, to your fork, right? Or
Yeah, to my fork. So yeah, and
Right.
that's good for everyone else to understand. I created a fork. From there, I ran GitLab. Now, when I do my commits, I'm committing it to me. The next thing I have to do is I'm going to generate, because it's protocol, I'm going to generate the patch for
it's
this version
GitLab
for
can
these
do it for
files.
you. GitLab
Yeah,
can do it
yeah,
for you.
through GitHub, right? I'll do that, and thank you for that. Do you guys want to show me how to do that? Get the patch
So you need to
file
create merge
created?
request from this new branch to original branch.
Okay.
It should be just one button.
So I have, this is my current, okay, I'll refresh the page.
Yeah, refresh.
This is the current version, okay? And this was an added patch just 11 minutes ago, and this is the change. So what is that? So this is copy the commit SHA. That isn't what I want. How do I generate the patch files for this?
So you didn't create another branch, right? So you committed to the same branch.
Just click into the three dots, I think. No, then click to the caption of time option added to like
time option.
Yeah.
Oh, here. There you go.
Yes. And then at the URL upper you can add patch.
Oh, I can add to this.
I'm not sure,
like
but
a
let's see.
question mark patch.
No,
what happens?
No, not question. Dot patch.
Dot patch.
I'm not sure we can do it with comments, but let's try. I usually did it with merge requests.
I think we can. This is a file formatted as a git patch.
I didn't know we can do it. Great.
Oh, so this is the git patch file. So I can actually, I'm going to copy this, but I can actually do save as, right?
Just save it.
Save as, and I don't want this on my screen though, guys. Okay, so yeah. So I'm just going to pop over here because I know how to get to it. So you save that as a patch and you attach that patch with. Now this is a multi-file patch though, and a lot of times what people submit are a single file patch, right? A bunch of single file patches, correct? So like I see when Pavel sends stuff, he sends 30 patches because he's working on all this different code. And it's 30 different files.
The idea is that sometimes you send multi-step patch sets. So one patch that changes something, another patch that changes on top of that patch. And if you have a difficult feature, it's easier to review it in steps. Not the destination point, but how you got there.
Got it. All right. So, and that's a great note to make, is that when you're viewing in here, when you're actually viewing the details of the differences, okay, you can just add dot patch. And I'm making that note in one of my files over here. Add dot patch to the URL to get the patch file.
Also, if you are formatting from command prompt, it's easier to get a proper command name. Like now you have if you save the patch from your browser, you will have this hash code .patch. But if you format from command line in Linux, you will get version 1, number 0001, and all the stuff.
But wait for next version of PG Cloud Hacker browser extension, which will do everything for you. Next version.
Cool.
Yes.
to make it easier.
Nice. All right. So everyone, we've walked through this from beginning to end, how to start, how to grab the repo, okay, how to fork it, how to change the setting and jump into a Git pod, the difference between Git pods and work places, the workspaces, okay. Also, how your startup files control that YAML file and how important that is to get everything loading correctly for you so that everything's installed and you're ready to go, okay. We covered how to start and stop the database. We covered how to test your code and see your code. And now we covered how to generate the patch. Once you got it all working, generate the corresponding patch. And we're not going to show you sending off the email, but we're assuming you can do all that portion. This was fabulous. Gentlemen, thank you. I've been schooled.
Thank you, Kirk.
It was great, especially how you explain this in very detail. It's very good. Like I definitely think it's like special, very detailed explanation. Thank you so much. And it was great session. Thank you. And those listeners, watchers who achieved this point, I have multiple requests to you. First of all, please share this with your colleagues who are interested in doing similar things. Second, please help us with reviewing additional ideas, testing in PostgreSQL Hackers mailing list, which is easy to find on postgresql.org. And finally, give us more ideas and feedback. This is I enjoyed it itself without watchers, but we do it online, plus much more people watch it recorded, as I can see. I don't mention subscribe, like, I think it's automated, right? So thank you once again. We're slightly over time, so no patch review today, unlike last week. Have a good rest of the week. Bye-bye.
Yeah, and also support this feature, because we need to tell the community that feature is needed.
Yes, if you're out there, we need you to +1 this feature. All right.
So all you
Hackers. And the PSQL Hackers site, you go in there, you find this, it's easy to find. At the very bottom, you can just go to the scroll down to the bottom on the reply and do +1.
To get this email from a thread, you can click the link of discussion, select a message and press send it to my mailbox. The message will be delivered to you and you can reply.
I don't use application for many years. I have everything in browser. You know, I'm very cloud approach. Like I like cloud approach.
But you need to
send it to your Gmail. But it'll send it to your Gmail.
Whole thread. Yeah, that's great.
The easy. That's the easy way. So once you got that thread, you can then just reply to that thread. And how you reply is there's a standard. It's bottom quoting. So basically, you don't respond at the top of an email. What you do is you respond in line or at the very bottom. In this case, it's simple for everyone. In Gmail, click the 3 dots that lets you see the message, delete the couple extra lines at the top, go to the bottom, and just put +1, a +1 with a great idea, missing, awesome, kind of thing. Such a small change and powerful. Whatever you want to doctor it up with, the more positive energy it has, the more likely it'll push through anybody.
Right.
And I still love Andre's point about it's a great way to keep track of stuff in the middle of the night and to correlate what time someone else ran something while you were running something, because the two could have impacted each other.
Right. So I think we need to next time, I need to record a small how-to video for dealing with mailing lists if you're not subscribed, for example, or you missed some. This is great. Just you describe this. Yes. We just need to record a small video here. Okay. Again, thank you. Have a good rest of the week.
Goodbye, everybody.
Next time. Bye.